I like when I have to get interrupted. I just love it, man. When you're talking and you get interrupted rudely. I know, right? Just turn the volume all the way up, and when someone's talking to you, go ahead and play them this audio. Eh! And then walk away. Yeah. Turn the volume all the way up for that. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. Watch out for Rocket League highlights. This is not what the video is about, but please, for watching this on my channel, watch out for Rocket League highlights. Yo, gamers, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, the people that are watching this probably not gamers, but at the same time, I don't know the audience. I would like to assume that most of my audience would be gamers if they're watching gaming content and gaming related type of videos, but this one's more sports related. I like to put the commentary about sports because I like to talk about sports. That's one of the main things I like to talk about sports. Hey, we're talking about sports. All right, the title of the video, paving the way for Coastal Carolina to get to the playoffs. I've been talking about this and I got interrupted, so I had to talk about this again. But we're just going to summarize this. Really, I'm just making the quality of the video better by getting interrupted. So, I don't think it's ever too soon to talk about playoffs. Not really. It's always too soon to talk about playoffs. Usually, right? Everyone likes, why is it too soon to talk about playoffs? But now it's not. All right, it's been 7 games, 8 games in for some teams, BYU, and so there's gonna be a time to talk about playoffs. And right now, there's quite a few undefeated teams that are sitting around, looking for someone to challenge them. Choose your character. Challenger. You know what I mean? There's got to be some sort of. Today, the character we're choosing, like I said, is Coastal Carolina, which is a random team that I haven't seen before, but I'm paving the way for them to get to the playoffs. I'm assuming they're good enough, by far, at the rank they're at, to run the table and beat Appalachian State. That's all I'm saying is I haven't seen them. I haven't seen anything. I'm gonna go probably watch some highlights or whatever film I can see of them. I don't even know what that be. I don't know how I would even find. I don't even know where I would begin to look for that. They're at Sunbelt, right? I don't even know. Yeah, they're out of Sunbelt. So I'm just thinking if only there is other teams in Sunbelt. There must not be more teams in Sunbelt for the strength of schedule, or else they'd be up around where BYU is. Apparently BYU is number 8, but they must have a decent strength of schedule, and they must have a lot of convincing shutdowns. I mean, that's what Coastal Carolina has on. I've looked at the scoreboard for the, they have convincing wins over, convincing win after convincing win. So they've gotten a certain portion of the population convinced. And I'm telling you what, okay, a win is a win is a win, and undefeated means you're undefeated. So sorry, Clemson. There's a few teams that are undefeated that I would like to see ahead of Clemson. No offense to clearly what should have been the best team in college football, except oh wait, Notre Dame should be number 1 simply because they play more games. I'm sorry, they play more games. They've undefeated. They have an undefeated schedule, but they have one more win than Alabama. All right, and every once in a while, once every few years, does Alabama slip up? All right, I don't know where that is going to be on the schedule, but Alabama's fixing to probably slip up. The best chance. How much time we have? 5 minutes. All right, we're talking about the path for Coastal Carolina to get to the championship. So, I mean, it's not obviously Alabama slip up. It's not going to do it. That's not what's going to do it for them. I'm getting there. Okay, I'm getting there. Okay, but it would help a little bit. It would help, and then quite frankly, I mean, what will help the most is if Florida and Texas A&M both slip up or get beat by Alabama. But Alabama going in overconfident, playing what should be a cupcake or whatever type of team. They usually don't. That's the thing. They're coached right, so they usually don't, right? But like, there's every once in a while, what will happen for one quarter? They don't show up. You can't say you haven't noticed this before. One quarter, give them 1 quarter. They don't show up, and then in the second half, they readjust. But sometimes they don't catch the readjustment. What will happen with the Alabama is that they won't. I don't know if it's probably not coaching. I don't know what it is. They don't readjust fast enough after 1 quarter, and then at this point, it's like the other team, if they beat Alabama, they're ready to step on the throat and put the gas down. And they ain't quitting. All right, they're gonna go all out 100%. They already going all out 100%, and they caught Alabama sleeping. All right, and they already have a good lead, and that will happen from time to time for the Alabama. And you never know if it's a South Carolina or I don't even know what I didn't look at the rest of Alabama's schedule, but you don't know if it's a South Carolina or a Missouri or South Carolina, Missouri. Maybe it's a Texas A&M. No, let's see. Maybe it's a Texas A&M. Like it could be. I don't want it to be though. That's the thing. I don't want it to be a Texas A&M. Maybe it's a Mississippi State. They play them again. I'm not sure. An LSU. You don't know where the slip up is if it's gonna happen. But if it does happen, it's early in the fourth quarter, and then they're not really awake, and then they don't have enough time to adjust after the second half. They just attitude, but then they're ready. The coaching will be ready for the adjustment once they have the lead, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, "Yo, we're gonna completely flip the switch, and they're gonna do something different." That's what happens. Something that's been like they're ready to. Like, here's the thing: going to Alabama, you catch them sleeping. Like, the coach is ready after halftime for them to have the adjustments already, right? So they have to have they go into their backup plan the very moment they see that their main plan is slowing down. Like, is slowing? You have to do it. It's like a manager in a baseball game. Sometimes you have to take the guy out, even though he's still doing good, the pitcher, right? But like at the very break of where he's or where whoever he's doing, not as all right. You gotta be like, well then. What time? Okay, 8 minutes in. And there could be an Alabama loss and some sort of shaking up, and that type of stuff happens. Or, a team just straight up beats him, which usually doesn't happen unless it's Clemson. And then they get they also kind of got caught sleeping, and then they got completely walloped by just a straight up better team with better guys, better coaching, and better players, and better everything all around, in all three phases, you know what I mean? And that championship game. Love seeing Nick Saban's flustered. I don't know what it is, but I just love seeing the possibility of a championship all-around team go down the drain. Okay. So, Notre Dame already upset Clemson, but I don't think Clemson didn't have their starting QB, did they? They had some other guy. Anyway, I don't think they had a starting QB. They're missing a few guys on Clemson's team, so how much time we have? 9 minutes. All right. So, like I said, Coastal Carolina. I've been talking about the top of the rankings. Let's get to what could shake up the middle of the rankings. We got what's in front of Coastal Carolina. I believe it's Miami. If I remember correct, Miami, Oklahoma first, then Miami. Then they got Oregon. I forgot who's at number 10. And they got BYU and since BYU, Cincinnati. Here we go. Coastal Carolina. Here we go. Here's their path. Cincinnati in the American Conference loses to SMU in a championship. Assuming they do an American Conference championship, and assuming it's gonna I'm not even going on a limb. I'm full on stating right now that it's very probable that the championship will be a rematch of Cincinnati in the American Conference and SMU in the American Conference. So there's your American Conference championship, everybody. All right. Assuming that, what I'm assuming is that SMU's receivers can actually catch the ball. All right. That SMU's receivers can actually catch the ball. Okay. The only reason why SMU wouldn't, the only reason why the American Conference team doesn't make it into the playoff is if Cincinnati loses and there's a better team sitting there, or SMU is the better team. I honestly think that the American Conference Cincinnati is going to make it to the playoff, but the path remains for Coastal Carolina to possibly sneak its way into that top 5 or so, assuming it's not as locked down as it seems to be. Oregon, I don't buy Oregon. They're probably going to lose to Arizona. They finally lose to Arizona all the time. Credit to Arizona. They do better in those clutch moments at those times. Oregon finds a way to lose to Arizona. They got Arizona on the schedule. They're probably, we're going to pencil that in. We're not going to use a pen or a Sharpie, whatever. We're going to use a pencil. I don't know if I'm regret. I don't think recent history, I don't think I will regret saying that. I think it's a very probable scenario, especially if it's a home game for Arizona. I think for sure if it's a home game for Arizona, they're going to lose. They're going to lose to Arizona. They have fared very well with Arizona teams in recent history. Forks up. Anyway. Okay. Oklahoma not buying them. Miami not buying them. Okay, so they're out of the picture. I think Oklahoma will find some dumb way to slip up. They always do. Miami will probably find some dumb way to slip up too. They always do. And to be frank with you, to be quite honest with you, hello, hi, checking how much time I've spent recording this. I think Coastal Carolina, which I believe is the team at number 15 or 16, whatever it is, the official rankings, I think they'll run the table. They should be able to run the table, right? They should be able to win every game, including Appalachian State, And if they do it in a convincing fashion, and they look really good doing it, they could look like the best team coming in number 4. If Cincinnati loses, and obviously those top 5 teams, one of them's got to lose a game again. That's why I talk about Alabama. I think Alabama is the most likely slip up. Right? I don't know who Notre Dame has on the schedule other than Clemson. Clemson is their biggest their biggest rival on their schedule. Their top dog on their schedule. I don't think they got anyone else on the schedule. I don't think there's Virginia. They got Virginia. I don't know. I'm throwing out teams out here. Do you think they got Virginia? Well, they're probably locked in out that way. With one loss, they might be locked in anyway. Virginia on their schedule. If Alabama loses though, and Notre Dame sees them defeated, then they may be dropping down a few spots, because there's other teams that are undefeated that deserve to be in that top 4, top 5 spot. And eventually there could be it's going to come down to the committee, and then the committee could be you can sit here with something on their hands, being like, you know what? There's a few undefeated teams. The committee's going to be left with a decision and being like, 40. Man, as I am 15 minutes into recording this, they're going to be left with some sort of decision, being like, there's a few undefeated teams that are sitting here. And there's a Alabama and a Georgia and a Florida that I don't really buy necessarily too much. And then Texas A&M, that is certainly out of those two, Texas A&M and Florida. Like, I don't really buy those two either to run the table. Do they play each other? That'd be huge. That'd be really big for one of those teams like BYU or Cincinnati or Coastal Carolina. That'd be really big. Coastal Carolina. That's the thing. Coastal Carolina has the best path to win every game. Cincinnati could lose a game, and I'm sure. I mean, their best test was probably Boise State, but I'm sure BYU can probably lose it. They probably have a game on their schedule somewhere that they're gonna lose. I don't know if they still play Utah, but that's a possibility. You know, there's possibilities that are out there. Let's see. Yeah, I hope you liked it, and I think that if there's, you know, if with COVID, I'm just, you know, we gotta throw out at this point. I am guaranteeing that as long as they're, you know, healthy, I'm guaranteeing that there's gonna be an American conference of some other smaller school representing, and it's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be Pac-12, to be honest. To be frank. Some other smaller, the Pac-12 likes to beat each other up too much. They let, you know, it's gonna be some other smaller school in that spot as long as they stay healthy and remain undefeated. There's gonna be a smaller school in that fourth spot. It's either gonna be Coastal Carolina, BYU, Cincinnati, or quite possibly SMU if they can make their way back up and beat Cincinnati in a rematch. In fact, Cincinnati, I have to look at the schedules of Florida and, you know, I have to look at the schedule of like Georgia and see what they have, and Alabama and see who they have, and who's that, and Clemson, I guess, even see who they have. They might have Virginia Tech or someone. Virginia Tech's always like a real toss-up. Virginia Tech, Virginia is usually a toss-up. I thought Syracuse for sure. Syracuse had Clemson's number for a while. Virginia Tech or Virginia, some sort of toss-up if they had them on the schedule, or Georgia Tech maybe even. You know, you never know what the heck freaky weird stuff Georgia Tech's gonna pull. Some sort of fake punt type of weird stuff. I'm telling you, Alabama, you know, if a team catches Alabama sleeping, then watch out, you know. That's all I'm saying. Alright, that's a full 18 minutes into the video. Toes, legs, knees, everything else in between. I almost dropped my phone. Practically did. Good thing I'm holding it on my bed, though. You don't want to see it. It's a mess. I think I covered that. I think that's a good amount of college football talk. If Coastal Carolina makes it into the top 10, I would like to. My name is, if Coastal Carolina, I'm telling you right now, on November, what is it? November. I like to make these predictions, and usually I'm right about them. I've been right in the past about them. I don't say usually. I don't want to, but November 11th, as it stands right now, November 9th. It'll be November 10th by the time you're seeing this, probably. November 9th, as it stands right now, your boy, Joey, that's my name, Jankowski, I'm throwing it out there. Hit me up, ESPN, whoever I need to, whatever, I'll watch the film, I'll watch the college football film, I'll be on, I'll take that job. Someone lacking in the room watching the film and stuff? Watching the film you know, and where to rank these teams? I'll take that job, and I'll sit here and I'll be like, look, a win is a win is a win. And now I'm going to go based off that. And I see all the time in the AP poll, a team can win and go down, but they can lose and stay where they are, or they can lose in a close one and stay where they are, or they can lose and sometimes go up, right? You know, I don't know, maybe it hasn't happened before, but I feel like maybe a lower team, a middle pack team, can play like a high rank and lose a game, but it's like a close one. And it's like, oh, strength of schedule. Well, the team below them, it's a very rare case, but sometimes the team below them won't jump them. You know what I mean? Because they're like a I don't know, an Appalachian or a Liberty or something like that. You know what I mean? I see you, Liberty. I see you at 23, whatever it is. See them. Yeah. So, but my prediction stands, and it's a very solid prediction. Today is November the 9th. I'm looking at my wrist as if I have a watch on there. I don't. Today is November the 9th, 2020. By the end of this year, there's going to be one of these smaller schools, one of of these American Conference or Sun Belt or whatever conference teams, BYU's an independent, I believe, but one of these teams in the middle of the pack here that are, I don't see any of them losing the game. I don't. One of them is going to be in the top 4 spot. There's going to be some sort of shakeup, whether it's with Georgia or Alabama. There's going to be some sort of shakeup going on in that top 5. Because it's COVID times, man. It's COVID times. So even if they're, one of them's, maybe not stay as healthy, quote unquote, one of the games might be canceled. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen, and that's just my whole take on everything on it. And I'm throwing literally all history, everything, all out the window. And I'm hoping that if it is to happen, that one of these undefeated, quote unquote smaller schools gets a chance. Hopefully they win the whole thing. So then we can stop. We can stop having the conversation that just because you're at the Power 5, I hate this whole, they're not in the Power 5, so who do they really play? Like, the American Conference, how to cut teams. American, I'm telling you, the American, you've seen especially the American Conference, they got a lot of good teams in the American Conference. They got SMU, they got Cincinnati, they got Memphis, who's always good, and they got like one other one, Tulsa. Tulsa's usually quite good. They got a lot of good competition going on in the American Conference. I would not sleep at all on the American Conference team making the way in the top 5 or top 4 within these next few weeks. And it's a complete roll of the dice from there. It's a complete you settle, you wait, and you see what happens, man. You have to see what happens. But I guarantee you, one of these top 4 teams is gonna lose.